All right, joining us today on Pirate Radio Live, former East Carolina head basketball coach. He is now an analyst. He is now a weekly guest on Pirate Radio. He is Mack McCarthy. What's up, Coach Mack?
I'm good, Clipster. Hope you are.
Yes, sir. Doing well. I got the football blues. Kind of depressing with no NFL or college football for a while now, but starting to get into hoops. We got ECU baseball beginning on Friday, but college basketball, East Carolina in action tonight against UAB, and the Pirates coming off a win on the road at UTSA. CJ Walker hits the shot with time running down, and the Pirates get a road win. And I got Andy Kennedy's team tonight, and Coach Mack, they are good. They got a good record coming in here. They've made the tournament, and Andy Kennedy's been in some big places, maybe ran
Yeah.
into some trouble here and there, but all in all, he's a pretty good coach, right?
No, he's a really good coach. He was a really good player too. We recruited him. He was out of Mississippi and bounced around a little bit. But yeah, Cincinnati, Ole Miss, UAB. He's a very good coach, good guy, and not surprising that he's winning at a place that pretty much has won no matter who's been there. But back to your football thing, though. One thing, college football, they copy the NFL a lot, but one thing they've accomplished is how the NFL has something all year long. College, for better or for worse, now has they stay in the headlines all year long too. So even though we don't have games, you've still got football too.
Schedule releases, all that nonsense, and you're right.
Portal.
Yeah, absolutely. The NFL will hit with the combine and draft and schedule release and all that stuff, and they try to make it year round as much as possible. As far as basketball goes, how about last week? My question of the week: I give you Duke and Auburn on one side and the field on the other, and you took the field. Both of those teams lose on Saturday within hours of each other, so that was perfect for my question last week. How about the folks in Clemson, Mac, in a span of what 2 or 3 days, they beat Duke and North Carolina in Little John. So I think you said last week Brad Brownell next year he's going to be the torchbearer for the ACC when it comes to coaches when Leonard Hamilton steps down. But man, they got a pretty good thing going right now in hoops.
Yeah, Brad's done a good job everywhere he's been. I first met him. He was at UNCW as an assistant to Jerry Wainwright when he had Brett Blizzard and some of the known
Oh, I
names
remember
that
Blizzard.
got to the NCAA tournament. And Brad took over that program. Did really well. Got in a dispute with the AD. Took off to Wright State and did a good job up there. And then got the Clemson job. And he's just hung around. He's sort of like his teams. He hangs around, gets some stuff done, and then occasionally has a big win, and it was great. Of course they had a 3 game homestand, lost to Georgia Tech, then beat Duke, which was unbelievable with the Dickie V return and all that. We can talk about that ad nauseum probably, and then beat Carolina, which is not of any significance. So
Right.
at this point in time, anyway. But they're the second best team in the league. They're certainly not the second best talented team in the league, most talented, in my opinion, although they are pretty talented. But he's built an old roster, got a lot of veteran players, and he gets all he can out of them. And they've got a good home court advantage there. They do draw well for big games and that kind of thing. So good for Brad Brownell, who will be the dean of the coaches in the league next year.
We got a 1 versus 2 matchup coming up this weekend. It'll be, do they call it the Iron Bowl in basketball? Alabama
Eh,
and Auburn.
yeah, pretty nominally, yes. Yeah.
And I guess it's got to be like the biggest regular season matchup ever between the two, right? I know it's hard to say that in college basketball. There's so many games. Both teams are going to make the tournament and get good seeds. But as a former Auburn coach, that's pretty cool to see 1 versus 2 this weekend.
Yeah, very much so. We had some big games with them, obviously, none bigger than my final year at Auburn, where we met in the championship game of the SEC tournament. We were on our fourth game in 4 days, and we went into the tournament seeded eighth, even though we were way better than that. We had 2 freshman guards in the backcourt. Took us a while to get going, but we beat them on national TV at noon on a Sunday in the Birmingham Jefferson Civic Center, and went on to the Sweet 16 16 with that same team. But yeah, there have been big games between these two, but I don't think there's ever been a one versus two.
Yeah, great matchups tonight as well. Tennessee, Kentucky, one of those, Mac, as the SEC continues to kind of get the headlines for good reason in basketball. Purdue, Michigan coming up tonight. Bama, Texas. So yeah, I'm naming all SEC games. It's a big SEC night in college basketball.
SEC and Big Ten and Big 12 has made a little bit of a comeback, although Kansas hadn't been part of that. Other teams getting going, like Kansas State, for instance, and Iowa State getting back on track, and Texas Tech doing better than expected. The league that's clearly the fourth, and at least in basketball, is the ACC with Duke, Clemson, and I guess you can throw Louisville in there as solid, and maybe they'll get five teams in the NCAA tournament, but not a great year in the ACC from that perspective. But like you mentioned, the SEC maybe an unprecedented year. This goes back to maybe some of the Big East days where at one time they had three of the Final Four.
Let's get our questions from Jamie for Mack McCarthy. By the way, our NASCAR draft coming up in just a moment, but wanted to hit some basketball first. Coach Mack, what kind of offense and defense did you run, and can you change offensive defensive philosophy during a season if it's struggling after working on one offense or defense all off season?
Yeah, you can absolutely change. It's a little drastic, but I'll give you an example. In my last year at Chattanooga, we were pressing, shooting a lot of threes, running up and down the floor. After getting beat in our own Christmas tournament, which we had never lost in, we got beat by Canisius, coached by John Beeline, who went on to do really good things. But I kept watching that film and said, we're not doing. We had 11 days off. We're not doing what we need to do. We need to change everything. So we stopped shooting threes, started playing zone, not pressing ever again. We won 11 in a row, went to the Sweet 16. But yeah, you can do it. And I've coached a little bit of everything. I coached for two kind of hard-headed guys, and they were successful partly because they were hard-headed. Don DeVoe would never play anything but man-to-man. Sonny Smith played almost all zone. Don DeVoe didn't care what you did offensively. Sonny Smith was maybe a savant offensively, especially as it came to rebounding and things like that as part of the offense. So I kind of took the best of both, but I changed and did everything from set plays to five-man motion. Had some years where we played all zone, some years where we played all man, some years where we mixed it up. But you can change during the middle of the season, and sometimes it sends the wrong message, like you didn't know what you were doing. But coaches have to be salesmen, and you have to sell it.
Mack McCarthy joining us. Speaking of coaches, Jamie says maybe the most important question I've ever asked Coach Mack: who would you hire as Indiana's next head basketball coach? Who are some of the gettable names you can go after? What's the industry saying about that job?
Golly, Ned. The industry is saying, some things like um, Coach Beard at Ole Miss is probably the number one guy. A name to keep an eye on is Buzz Williams at Texas A&M. While he's a Texas guy, he's not the coach at Texas. Even though Texas A&M is a great job, it does probably have a ceiling there. So I wouldn't be shocked if he ends up in the mix at some point. I Shaka Smart is a guy. They all talk about the Celtics guy, Brad Stevens. He's not going to do that. They talk about Tony Bennett. He's not going to do that. But I imagine one of the names I mentioned will end up there.
You mentioned Tony Bennett there, and I just thought about Jay Wright. Do you think any of these guys that still have something left in the tank will get back into it, or do you think they're done for good?
I don't know. Tony Bennett would be the one that might get back in it, but I wouldn't be shocked to see Tony Bennett do something unusual. Coach in high school, coach in a Division III school, coach in the Ivy League. I don't know that I see him at a Power 4 school anymore, but it wouldn't surprise me that he coaches at some level. Maybe it's international. I could see him coming back and coaching, but I'm not sure at the Power 4 level, Power 5 level, whatever it is, whatever you want to call it in basketball.
My take, and it was just wishful thinking, because I think I have a couple of his old cards, but Tony Bennett returning to Charlotte to coach the Hornets one day.
Yeah, I think that's a, if he didn't like what's going on in college, and he's played professionally, so he knows what's going on in the NBA.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. Maybe a better chance he coaches my high school, D.H. Conley, than my favorite pro team.
I think that's a better opportunity, a better chance of him doing that than coaching the Hornets.
All right, Coach Mack is fired up for Daytona. J-Bone, Jared Watkins is as well. We'll bring him in to the mix here as we get ready for the Daytona 500 and the start of the NASCAR season. Coach Mack, how many times you been to Daytona?
I've been to the track a lot of times. I've been to the Daytona 500. Oh gosh, maybe 3 or 4 times. Been to the summer race once or twice. Uh, but we recruited a lot in that area, and actually signed a couple players in that area. And I used to stay in maybe the original Holiday Inn right across from the track, and it would scare the daylights out of you when they started testing. And it was the old Holiday Inn with the louvers above the door and that kind of thing. It was. I am sure they've made it a museum or something by now.
Jared, you been in any races?
No, I'm trying to get out to Martinsville late March.
All right. Coach
Good
Mack,
move.
you like that track?
Yeah, I'm a season ticket holder at Martinsville and Richmond. They're two of my favorites, and I've been lucky to live around where I can get to Richmond or Martinsville or Bristol, and of course I think my favorite track to go to is Darlington, but and I've been lucky enough to go there multiple times too. But we go every year to Martinsville and Richmond.
All right. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to have our draft. We did the format talk last week. We ended up on if your driver gets a win, you get 3 points. If your drivers collectively have the best scoring average for that particular race, you get 2 points.
Yep.
If you have a driver that doesn't finish, it is -1 for each driver.
Yep.
All right. Mac, are we okay with that?
I'm totally good with that. It ought to be very. And what is the prize? That's the main thing.
We'll talk about that off the air.
It'll probably be monetary.
Yeah.
Listen to Big Daddy Warbucks up there.
If you have better ideas, let me know.
No, I'm good.
Maybe
I'm
you can
good
get us
with-
some tickets to the Final Four or something to throw in. How about we all throw in something?
All right.
I'll have a brand new hat for somebody. Mac will have Final Four tickets, hotel, and airfare,
My grandma will. I'll get you some of my grandma's soup.
and grandma's soup. So we'll have a big prize pack for somebody.
Other than grandma's soup, I think we better stick with money.
All right, so I got the wheel of names here. So this is how we're going to determine our draft. So I'm going to spin it, and whoever it lands on first. Should we do you get to pick where you pick?
Sure.
Let's do that. So we're doing a snake draft, Max. So it'll be 1, 2,
Sure.
3, 3, 2, 1. All right.
Okay.
So I'm going to hit spin for the first time, and we'll see who it lands on. It's spinning around. I can't really see it on the TV there. It looks like it's going to be Clip. All right. Clip is going
Yeah.
to
I
pick.
trust that. Don't you, Jared?
Yeah.
Every time. Damn. Clip is going to pick. See, you told me something earlier. I'm going to pick second. I'm going to take the second pick. All right. So
You might not get your guy. You better go ahead and take it.
Man, if I don't get I might have screwed up. Second pick goes to, or a second choice goes to
Mac.
Mac. You want first or third?
First or third? I'll
If you
take third.
All right. So, Bone, you got the first pick.
All right. Well, I told you I would let you get your guy. I'll go Kyle Larson.
So, would you have gone Bell here, really? Any?
I like Larson just because I think he'll win the most, so that'll give me probably more points week to week. But yeah, Bell is I think the easy second choice.
All right, Christopher Bell. I chose him as my favorite driver for this year, so I'm going to have him on my team, anchoring my team. Give me Christopher Bell, and now Mack McCarthy has back-to-back picks here.
Blaney and Elliott.
Oh man, I like them guys. Ryan Blaney at Chase Elliott will go to Team Mac. I am back up again. A few names out here, but I'm going to go with William Byron as my pick. Coach Mac, thoughts on William Byron?
I like him a lot. Not a big fan of the Liberty sponsorship. That's a little wacky, but I think William Byron is I think he is a bargain at 5.
A bargain. I'm bargain shopping. All right, Bone, you got back-to-back picks.
All right. Jeez. All right, cool. I'll go Denny Hamlin and Tyler Reddick.
Denny Hamlin, Tyler Reddick.
I was a little cautious with the Tyler Reddick pick just because the charter stuff with 2311, but I think he'll have another great year.
All right, my third driver will be Joey Slogano. Joey Logano will be my pick.
Listen to my list, okay? Larson, Blaney, Elliott, Bell, Byron, Reddick, Hamlin, Logano.
So it went right down the line?
We have gone exactly down the line.
We are too predictable. All right, so
Except
now,
for Bell vaulted 2 spots, but the first whatever this is 7.
Yeah.
That's the first 8 that they're all the same.
so now Mac has back-to-back?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that was the easy pickings right there. Holy cow! I'm gonna have to go outside the tradition here, and I'm gonna go Briscoe and Busher.
Oh, man.
The double B's, Briscoe and Busher. All right, so now I am making my. How many guys do I have?
You have 3.
I got, okay, Bell, Byron, and Logano. And I'm going to say Alex Bowman will be joining my team. Alex Bowman.
Not
It's
a
the
fan.
first guy out of order on my list.
Now, why do you say not a fan? What's wrong with him, Jarrett?
I mean, I hated 48 because I didn't like Jimmy Johnson, and I guess it just carried over.
All right. And you just hate everything.
Come on.
All right, so now you have back-to-back.
Oh, man. This is tough because I want to take Kyle Busch, but
You got to.
yeah. All right.
Mac hates him, but I might take him if you don't.
I wouldn't
Okay.
take him if he's the only one left. I'd just go without.
I'll go Ross Chastain and Brad Keselowski.
Oh, okay. So how many drivers is that for you?
All 5.
Okay, so you're not taking Bush.
No, yeah.
Okay. Well, then I will be taking Kyle Busch as my 5th and final driver. And now we close it out with Mack McCarthy, who will be
Is this like the NFL draft? Is it the last guy is Mr. Irrelevant?
this guy's Mr. Irrelevant.
I'm going to throw up a little in my mouth when I make this pick, but I'm going to make it because he's going to win. Ty Gibbs.
You know what? I should have taken him to join my Gibbs team, but I didn't.
Yeah, I hate.
So why the Ty Gibbs 8?
Oh, just in general. I mean, the Golden Spoon,
Yeah.
all that stuff. Yeah, and
Yeah.
he's
right.
a little. I can't say it on the radio.
Man, we like Joe Gibbs, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Meh.
What's wrong with Joe Gibbs, Mac?
I mean, you like him because of the Redskins.
Yeah. He's a great guy.
He put a race team out of business because of his ego. He put Furniture Row Motorsports out of business just to satisfy his own whims because he could.
What's more American than that? All right, my team
You got a point
is
there.
my team is Christopher Bell, William Byron, Joey Logano, Alex Bowman, and Kyle Busch. Jared, what's your team?
Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin, Tyler Reddick, Ross Chastain, and Brad Keselowski.
And Coach Mack, who you got?
All of us got three good drivers. No, I got two. You all got three: Blaney, Elliott, Briscoe, Busher, and Gibbs.
I like the Busher pick. I think he
Yeah,
can.
you all got, and Briscoe could be good in the 19 too, but you all both got three solid people you can count on. I've got two that you can count on. That you all have an advantage. You all outdid me.
I wonder what the odds would be if I could bet on none of our drivers win the Daytona 500 this week, because I think I would bet on that.
I think his guy
50-50.
wins it. I think Ryan
50-50.
Blaney wins this weekend.
You think Blaney wins it?
Yeah.
Who's is there a guy that's due, Mac? Anybody, any big time driver hasn't won yet?
Kyle Busch.
Kyle Busch?
Yeah.
Daytona, yeah.
That's the guy. Okay. All right. Mac, what do you do for race day? Like, do you watch are you calling a game Sunday or are you watching a race?
I am not calling a game on Sunday. I was supposed to, and I didn't cancel it because I didn't turn it down because of the race, but I might have had it come to that.
Do you do a spread food like we do for football and stuff?
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Man.
Oh yeah.
Might have to do that Sunday.
What's in the spread?
What's in the spread?
Oh gosh, all appetizers. No main course, just all appetizers. Got to have some like buffalo chicken dip or some kind of queso. Got to have some sausage balls. Got to have some little wieners. Got to have some little pups, that kind of thing.
I hadn't had tater skins in a while. That'd be good.
Tater skins are always good, and wings always make a kind of an appearance there. There's some smoked sausage. We do a little bit of that, but homemade chips. Yeah, it could be a variety of things.
How many people you got coming over?
It's just him and the wife.
No people.
And that's why I love Mack McCarthy. He is my kind of guy. All right, Coach Mack, what you got this week on your schedule?
I'm good this week. I've got zero. I had a game last Thursday, and haven't had one since. And I've got 14 teams to prepare for the CAA tournament.
Yeah.
And that's taking up all my time.
That's gonna be a fun one. Keeping an eye on the CAA. That's gonna be a good tournament. Max showed us snow outside his house before we went on live. So
we'll show it again. Here we go.
yeah, we'll let you
How's
go.
that?
Look at that, winter wonderland up in VA. We'll let you go play in the snow, Mac, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, guys.